congratulations to the second and third place finishers in the 2019 Singapore Grand Prix. We're going to be joined very shortly by Sebastian Vettel, who is still in the TV pen. So we'll start with our second placed finisher, Charles Leclerc. Charles, congratulations. Second place, a good result for you, but it was decided on strategy. Tell us, how surprised were you when you saw that Seb had pitted?
I was surprised because obviously I was not aware in the car, but I guess that if this decision has been made, it was for the good of the team, and it had to be the only way for us to do 1-2. So if it's the case, then I completely understand it. But obviously from the car, it's very frustrating. So not completely happy today, but yeah. Anyway, I think the overall result of the weekend is very positive. We hoped for at least one car on the podium for this weekend, and we go back home with a 1-2, which we definitely did not expect on a track like this. So this is very positive.
Charles, you've said already that you're going to come back stronger. What have you learned today?
Well, to be honest, today I don't think I could have done much things better or differently. Yeah, the only thing is probably I will ask a bit more about the strategy around me and who is pitting and who is not, because I was not aware. So I don't know if I should have pushed a bit earlier during my first stint. I don't know. We have plenty of data anyway, and I will analyze it.
Okay, thank you, Charles. Max, coming to you. Great result for you to come home ahead of both of the Mercedes today. Is there anything you could have done differently to have beaten one of the red cars, do you think?
No.
So
No, I know it's very simple. I mean, I can make it a huge story, but no.
So you're satisfied that was as good as it was going to be after? Because after qualifying, you said the performance wasn't good enough. Was the car better today?
It was a bit better. I think in the race I could follow a bit. I mean, I was not in a position to attack, but at least I could follow the cars ahead of me around. They never really pulled away. I mean, of course, initially it was all about tire management anyway, so I was driving really slowly. But then, yeah, I think we pitted at the right time. Undercut, of course, Lewis, so that was very positive. But from there onwards, yeah, it was about just staying alert with the safety car restarts as well. But yeah, I think we managed everything quite well, and I think for us, after the difficulties we had in qualifying, it was still good to be on the podium.
Okay, well done, Max. Let's open this to the floor. First question, please.
Ferret, l'équipe. Question to Charles. In the morning briefing for the strategy, were there a plan that the second will go undercut or the first?
No, it was, yeah, we didn't speak about that plan, so yeah, I think this will be one of the discussions too, to try and understand why we didn't speak about that situation before, but it's impossible to go through all the possibilities in a race. All of them are unique, so yeah, but no, we didn't speak about this particular situation.
Thank you. Next one.
Lawrence Edmondson, ESPN. Charles, you said you didn't know that Seb had pitted. Do you think that if you had known that, you had the pace in the car at that time to push that little bit harder on your in-lap and make the difference and come back out on track ahead of Seb?
Well, at that time, obviously, the tires were quite dead, but probably before I had quite a lot of margin. In the first few laps, obviously, we wanted to go as slow as we possibly could for the guys behind to not have the window to pit. So yeah, in that period, I could have done a much better job, but I stick to the plan, and I think that's what helped us to do 1-2 today. So yeah, you can always do something better, but at the end, I stick to the plan.
Thank you, Charles. Just like to welcome our race winner, Sebastian Vettel, your 5th win here in Singapore. Welcome back to the middle seat. It's been a while. What is your overriding emotion right now?
Yeah, happy. Obviously, it's been a good night. Yeah, I knew that it would be tricky from where we started. I was trying to push as hard as I can at the start. It was very close with Lewis, very fair, but very close, so I couldn't really get ahead of him. and then I knew that, you know, usually the races around here start very slow, and I knew that Charles will probably take it easy to control the race, which he did. Back in the train, obviously, it's not so easy to stay close to the car in front, looking after your tires. So that's what I tried to do, to be able to stay with them as much as I could once they were picking up the pace. And I knew before the race that as soon as I get my call to box, that's when, you know, I can try and make something with this race. So that's what I tried to do. It was very late, just last corner before the pit entry, and yeah, I pushed as hard as I could in the outlap. I think I was surprised that Lewis didn't react the lap after, but also surprised that they had such strong pace for a couple of laps. So we had to obviously clear them, and once that was done, I really tried to slice through traffic as good as I could to, you know, have a bit of a cushion and maybe control the race from there. Didn't work when the safety cars came, but yeah. So I think the overriding emotion right now is just just happy with how the night went.
Okay, thank you, Seb. Let's open this to the floor again. Next question, please.
Yeah, first of all, congratulations, Seb. It's been a while. You were referring to some messages that you got by fans that cheered you up in a bit directly after the race. Can you tell us a little bit what kind of messages those were? And as you're not on social media, how did they even receive you? Did they wrote letters to your house, or how exactly did you get the messages?
Well, it's still a way, you know. Obviously, people were able to send messages before social media, even if that's very difficult to imagine for some people today. But yeah, so a lot of little notes, letters, handwritten letters, which, you know, it's obviously people make the effort to write something, and yeah, when you find a bit of time in the evening to go through, and it's really encouraging, I have to say. I mean, years ago, when you start, it's very difficult to imagine that people follow you and these kind of things. So, but recent years, especially here, especially in Asia, I have a lot of support, a lot of fans that come over and over again, as I said, I just got a lot of energy in the last couple of weeks just from messages that I received from the racing world, from people that I know from a long time ago, but especially fans. So after Monza and then coming here, so as I said, people sharing their own story of when things are up and when things go down, which obviously, you know, for us everything is centered around racing, but really it's not the most important thing. And when you read through some of the notes and people's struggle in life, some very intimate and private, you know, it gets to you, and it gave me a lot of belief and just confidence, you know, to just keep trying. And obviously nothing was wrong in the last couple of weeks. I knew that we weren't really far away from a breakthrough moment, sort of. But surely, you know, Charles has been very strong. And was right to, you know, to win the last two races, but I knew as well on our side that we just need to keep doing our job, and sooner or later things will fall into place. So obviously, I'm happy that it was rather sooner than later.
Thank you. Next question.
A question to Charles. How difficult was it to be on nerve in the car? Because we heard lots of radio communication, lots of emotions. How tough was it to continue?
Well, obviously, I think during the safety car, I was quite often on the radio. But then as soon as the safety car went away, then I focused on the job and tried to do the best of my race. Of course, in the car, it's frustrating. Then as soon as I thought a little bit more of the situation after it, then you see the things maybe a bit differently. Even though I still need some explanations just to understand fully why this decision was taken. But yeah, of course it's always frustrating in the car because you only see your situation and you don't see everything else.
Thank you. Next one.
Luke Smith, Crash.net. Sebastian, congratulations. To get the result after so many questions about your form and the slump that you've had, how satisfying does it feel to hit back and I guess answer your critics?
Maybe less satisfying than you think. As I said about form and stuff, I don't think there was anything wrong. So it wasn't like, you know, we're lacking speed or anything. I think it's much I think I could have done a better job yesterday. Obviously, recently I think there was nothing wrong in general, so things weren't maybe falling in place. Plus, I obviously messed up in the race in Monza. That's my mistake. Otherwise, I think it's a long race and a lot of things could happen. But overall, it's part of the game. I think I've been around now for a long time, and it's just how the tide turns sometimes. And I have the highest expectation to myself, and I'm not happy when I'm not delivering what I know I can. Certainly, I had moments this year where I was struggling to just get it out. So I know that I can improve from there. So I can't be happy with that. But equally, I know that it wasn't as bad or disastrous as maybe then people put it together. So, but I think if you've been around for such a long time and you've had so many good moments, then obviously you get hammered when there are bad moments. But I think it's just part of the game.
Sebastian, is there a sense of relief this evening?
I had the question now a couple of times. Not, yes, in a way, maybe it kicks in a bit later, but maybe just confirmation that obviously if you keep doing what you do, if I've been at moments where that things are wrong and you need to make changes, but lately I didn't feel that any big changes are necessary. So in that regard, it's a confirmation, but it's not like finally I can breathe again. It's not like I felt in a wrong and bad place. I knew that I have to pull through and go through it myself. So
Thank you. Next one.
Don Kennedy, Hawke's Bay today in New Zealand. Sebastian, this time you don't need to change around the number 1 and 2 signs, although Charles might differ on that. But just building on from that, was this a team victory or more like a personal victory for you?
Well, I think you are very misled if you ever think that you are bigger than this team. I don't think any individual can be bigger than this team. So I think I said in the radio, the first thing is obviously this is a victory for the team, because if you look at the hard facts, then we came here after we got completely destroyed in Hungary. We had a minute of gap between the leaders, the winners, and us, and coming here, similar track at least in terms of car specification. To be in a position where we are able to fight for pole yesterday and take control of the race. That's a team success. So that's, as I said, what I said in the radio, and that's what I honestly feel. So of course, you're looking after your own race and for yourself, but I think nothing can beat this team. So I was very down after Monza for myself, but up for the team, and obviously today I'm a bit more up for myself, but still very up for the team, as I said, because it's. It was also a very positive surprise with how we were able to be more competitive here. Having said that, though, I think we still can do better. We must do better. Mercedes was very strong on the used set of softs once we all came in. I don't think we had that pace in hand, so still things we can look at.
Next one.
When are you flying? Tomorrow you fly.
Erik van Haren, Telegraaf, Max. Max, what is your overall conclusion after this weekend, your overall feeling? Is quite happy about today or more the disappointment of yesterday?
Not good enough. We came here to win and we clearly didn't. Yesterday I think was worse than today, but I would say it's a little wake-up call. It's maybe just from Austria onwards, maybe our worst race in terms of performance, where we expected to be really good. So I have a few ideas why it went wrong. So we'll analyze all of them and see if we can already be better in Sochi. I mean, the layout is not that amazing for us, but you can clearly see if the car's working through corners or not. I think here clearly in too many corners the car was not working like I wanted it to. So yeah, we'll go home and see what we can do better.
Next one.
Tony Dodgins, Channel 4. Charles, obviously the strategy with Seb made sense with Lewis there, but once you were running 1-2 at the front, did you anticipate that the team might swap you back around again, as we've seen at other races, and was that discussed on the radio?
No, that wasn't discussed on the radio, and well, I just waited for the decision of the team whether they thought it was the thing to do or not, but it didn't happen. But yeah, I didn't expect anything. I just focused on the job I had to do, and then waiting for them to say anything if they had to say anything.
Next one. Any more?
David Coates, Motorlad.com. A question for Max, please. After the third safety car, obviously Lewis was in the DRS zone. What do you feel was the key to keeping him behind as he finished 0.7 seconds behind you?
Yeah, he was pushing hard. My tyres were going off a little bit, but I think it was quite normal. I mean, his tyres were 7 or 8 laps better than mine. And with 7 laps to go, I didn't have any problems. So it really started to be like with 4 laps to go. And then you could see he was closing in. So yeah, I just had to make sure I had good exits out of some crucial corners, so I knew he was going to be quick. But yeah, we managed to do that. So I guess the people in the garage were a bit more nervous. I was just focusing on getting good exits.
Next one.
Oliver Davis from Sportskeeda. A question for Sebastian Vettel. Of course, it's just been over 391 days since your last victory in F1. Roughly, a bit specific. How do you rank this win out of your victories in F1? Because you've had a bit of a long wait to get back at the top.
I don't know, to be honest. Obviously, I'm in a very, very lucky position to, look back on so many, but you always look forward to the next one. So obviously it took a while, but yeah, as I said, I'm not happy if there's chances that I don't take, and obviously there were some chances, well deserved by Charles the last weeks, and things that I should have done, could have done better, but yeah, you always sort of look forward to the next one. So yeah, I'm happy for today, but fairly quickly you turn the page and you want to do better the next race. So it's been like this since I started, and still like this. One day maybe it's not like this anymore, and then maybe it's time to do something different. I don't know.
Next one.
Wojciech Paprota, Świat Wyścigów. Seb, Charles, over the last couple of minutes you said that so many things have just not been discussed within the team. How would you describe the level of internal communication within the team? Is it fine? Is it not perfect? How would you describe it?
Who wants to start? Charles.
I think the level of how much we speak in the team is very good. Then there will always be situation that you don't speak about. Otherwise, the meetings will be 8 hours longer, and I don't want that. It's already very long. So, yeah, I think it's very good the way we work. But again, there will always be situations you don't speak of.
Sebastian, internal comms?
Well, obviously, we try to speak about, things in the race, etc., what can happen and so on. So, yeah, I mean, as you might imagine, obviously you would try to get on with your job in the car, but as I said previously as well, I think it's an exceptional team, and the team stands first, and yeah, I think we are aware of that.
One more. Time for one more.
Question for both Ferrari guys. It's the first time since 2008 that Ferrari has won 3 races in a row, very different tracks, and we know that Singapore has a tendency to throw the odd result. But what are the implications for Ferrari coming back to the pace that you didn't have maybe at the start of the season?
Sebastian, why don't you start this time?
Well, I've been around for a while now also with Ferrari, and I think there's only one way for Ferrari to be back, which is when we win the championship. So it's a very harsh judgment, but that's what it is. That's the reality. So we're working very hard on that. I think this year will be very, very difficult to turn things around with the current form that Mercedes has for the last 15 races or 14 races that we did now. So, but we keep fighting, because anything we still learn this year will help us next year. So the bits we brought here obviously are positive in terms of looking also to next year's direction, development, etc. But yeah, we need more. Obviously, we want to be the best team, which currently we are not. The last races have been good for us, so that's great for our self-confidence inside the team, for everyone. But yeah, there's still a lot of work ahead of us.
Charles, do you think you can be competitive at all of the remaining races?
I really hope so. Will be difficult, because I'm pretty sure that the other teams will bring some upgrades too in the next few races. But I mean, it's looking good. We've had two opposite characteristics of trucks in the last 3 weeks, and we've been quick in both of them. So. And I think it was quite a big surprise for us, but for everyone too, to be quick on a high downforce track like here. So yeah, it's a good thing, and I hope it's a good sign for the future.
Thank you, Charles. Well done today, gentlemen. That's all we got time for, and a full transcript of this press conference will be available shortly at FIA.com.